the top 10 NBA playoff performers in the modern era. For this list, we're focusing on the players who are currently in the league today. Some stars can't live up to the pressure, others carry over their dominant play from the regular season, but this video counts down the players who fully live up to the moment. Stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss number 1. Only 19.5% of you watching this video right now are subscribed, so if you're looking for consistent NBA hot takes, then you came to the right place. Honorable mentions go to Kyrie Irving, Jamal Murray, and the main honorable mention goes to Damian Lillard. Dame doesn't quite raise his efficiency enough to make this list, but he's made some once-in-a-lifetime game winners and deserves a better team around him, so he'd be at number 11. Number 10, James Harden. The Beard has been called a playoff choker throughout his entire career, which is one of the most disrespectful labels ever put upon one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Harden hasn't always pulled through to the finish line, and he has never won a championship, but that doesn't make his entire playoff career a failure. In 2013, he shot 7 for 22 to lose to OKC at home. In 2014, he had a whopping 2 points in the final 18 minutes of a closeout Game 6. In 2015, Harden set the record for playoff turnovers and lost to the Warriors in 5 games. In 2016, he lost to a Curryless Warriors squad. In 2018, him and his team missed 27 straight three-pointers when they were 1 win away from the finals. But despite all of these shortcomings, recently James Harden has been turning his playoff resume around. Since losing to the Warriors in 2018, Harden's averaging 29.5 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 7.4 assists, which is nothing short of exceptional. Last year against the Thunder in the first round, he got a game-winning block on Lou Dort to send the Rockets to the second round. And this year with Brooklyn, the Beard is out for redemption. In games 3 and 5 versus the Celtics, he had some of the best performances in his playoff career. 41-7-10 in game 3 and 34-10-10 to close out the Celtics. If Harden keeps up performances like that, what will his critics have to say then? I'm curious. Number 9, Anthony Davis. AD is a superstar in this league who raises his game in the playoffs even more. Since the age of 21, AD's always been one of the best performers in the NBA. In his first playoffs back in 2015, he averaged 31.5 points and 11 rebounds against the Warriors. In 2018, as the underdog in the 3-6 matchup against the Blazers, Davis swept them, averaging a career-best 33 points and 11.8 boards. A year later in 2019, AD was traded to the LA Lakers to team up with LeBron James, forming one of the best duos that this league has seen in nearly 20 years. En route to his first championship, Anthony Davis posted 28 points and 10 rebounds per game. And up until this year, AD's career 28.8 points per game playoff average ranked 5th all-time, even above all-time greats like LeBron himself. But let's hope AD and the Lakers can bounce back next year. Number 8, Jason Tatum. Although Tatum was recently eliminated by the Nets this season, that's not reflective of his entire playoff career. In his 4 NBA seasons, he's made the conference finals 2 times already. In his rookie year, he made it all the way to the conference finals to face off against LeBron James in a 7-game series. He posterized LeBron. He had his regular sophomore slump like most players, but in the 2019-20 season, Jason Tatum had truly arrived. In the bubble, Tatum averaged 26, 10, and 5, leading the Celtics to an Eastern Conference Finals appearance where they'd come up 2 wins short of the finals against the Heat. The loss definitely wasn't on Tatum whatsoever, though. He put up an impressive 27, 10, and 6 against the impressive Miami Heat defense. Against Brooklyn this year, he dropped 50 points in Game 3 to take a game off the super team Nets. Not only is the future bright for Tatum, but the future is now. Number 7, Donovan Mitchell. Spider Mitchell has always been ready for the moment. He dropped 45 points in Game 1 against the Nuggets. We'll see what he does in their next game. But when he first arrived in the NBA back in 2017, he went to a Jazz team that lost their star player in Gordon Hayward, but Donovan Mitchell led that team as a rookie to a 48-34 record, good for 5th in the West. The Jazz were matched up with the league's former MVP Russell Westbrook and one of the best two-way superstars in the league at the time in Paul George. But Mitchell wasn't afraid of the challenge. He averaged 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 dimes to take down 2 top 15 players in the middle of their prime. That included a 38-point outburst to take the Thunder down in 6 games. Last season in the playoffs against the Nuggets, Mitchell had one of the greatest playoff series of all time, averaging 36-5-5 over a 7-game series. The Jazz ultimately came up 1 win short of advancing, but for Mitchell's playoff career, he has an average of 27.5 points per game, which is the 4th highest average among active players, and the 7th highest in NBA history. Let's see how far D-Mitch takes the number 1 seeded Jazz in these playoffs. Number 6, Luka Doncic. Luka's had the league on notice since entering the NBA. Scouts doubted his ability to transition to the NBA pace of play despite his impressive averages of 16, 5, and 4 in the EuroLeague tournament, leading Real Madrid to a championship and winning the Finals MVP of the EuroLeague at only 17 years old. In the NBA, there's only been more of the same. Last season, the 7th-seeded Mavericks matched up with the 2nd-seeded Clippers, and Luka Magic gave Kawhi and PG a run for their money. His co-star Kristaps Porzingis was injured for almost the entirety of the series, and only played for the first 3 games actually, but that didn't stop Luka from performing at the highest level. The sophomore Doncic pushed the Clippers all the way to 6 games basically by himself, averaging 31, 10, and 9 for the entire series. He dropped 40-plus points twice during the series and hit a legendary game winner in Game 4. Doncic came back the 2021 season with MVP expectations, though. While his team didn't live up to expectations, there's no doubt that Luka came back a better player. In these playoffs, Luka matched up with the Clippers yet again, and he took them 1 game away from the conference semis, ultimately falling short in 7. But Luka's 36-point, 10-assist, and 10-rebound averages carried the Mavs yet again, and at the age of only 22, he could be seeing a GOAT in the making. These next 5 guys on the list all have legitimate arguments for the top spot. Number 5, Nikola Jokic. The Joker is far and away the best performing big man in the NBA, with all due respect to Joel Embiid. Jokic is the only player on this entire list to never have a bad playoff game in his entire career. Jokic first entered the playoff scene in 2019 with a bang, competing with the San Antonio Spurs in a close 7-game series where the Nuggets barely eked out a 4-point victory in Game 7. Jokic was electric that series, as he always is, with humble averages of 23, 12, and 9. The next series was yet another 7-gamer against the Portland Trail Blazers, where Jokic upped his play even more, putting up 27, 14, and 8 a game. Unfortunately, the Nuggets narrowly lost the series due to suspect play from Jokic's co-star Jamal Murray. In the 2020 bubble, Jokic and the Nuggets found themselves with another 2 straight 7-game series, making Jokic's Nuggets the only team in league history to play in 4 straight 7-game series. Against Utah, Jokic lulled the Jazz to sleep by exposing Rudy Gobert in the open court, coming back from down 3-1. The next round, the Nuggets found themselves down 3-1 yet again, but this time to the Clippers. In a closeout Game 6, the Clippers were up 15 points late in the 3rd quarter, but Jokic and his Nuggets ended up blowing the Clippers out by 13 in the 4th quarter. Jokic closed out Game 7 with 16 points, 22 rebounds, and 13 assists, showing off his ability to contribute to winning even if he can't score. Jokic is a triple-double threat on a nightly basis and never shies away from performing in the spotlight. This year, Jokic is having a career season. The Joker is putting up 33, 11, and 5 a game, showing off that he can do whatever you ask of him, whether it's scoring or playmaking at the highest level. Number 4, Kevin Durant. Up next is a man considered by most to be the greatest scorer in NBA history. KD is as elite as they come when it comes to getting playoff buckets. He has the 3rd highest scoring points per game average of any player in NBA playoff history, and he's the highest active points per game playoff leader in the NBA. He only trails Hall of Famers Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson all time. He's currently crossing up Giannis and the Bucks, but we shouldn't be surprised because this man KD's been a beastly playoff performer throughout his entire career. Thursday is going to mark the 2-year anniversary of the date Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles in Game 5 of the 2019 NBA Finals in Toronto. 2 years following that injury and 1 season removed from sitting out the entire 2019-20 season, Durant's lighting up opposing defenses in the playoffs as if he never got hurt. How do you guard a 7-footer who can get whatever he wants off the dribble? Don't ask the Milwaukee Bucks because KD's seamlessly ripping apart their defense and getting to his spot with elusive hesitations. No matter if it's PJ Tucker or Giannis on him, those are 2 of basketball's top wings. We'll see how far he can take the Nets this postseason though. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard. The 2-time Finals MVP closed out the Mavericks in typical Kawhi fashion, dropping a combined 73 points in Games 6 and 7, while averaging 32, 8, and 5 for the series on brilliant efficiency. It's performances like these that made Raptor fans like myself heartbroken when the fun guy skipped town. But we can't have what Kawhi Leonard did during those 2019 playoffs slip out of our memory. Maybe he forced his way out of San Antonio, but any questions about the heart and toughness of Kawhi were answered when the Spurs traded him north of the border. He had a career season with the Raptors and then an all-time great playoff run where he scored the 3rd most amount of points of all time in a single playoff run. Only LeBron in 2018 and Jordan in 1992 had more points than Kawhi in the 2019 playoffs. Number 2, Stephen Curry. One thing's for sure, Commissioner Adam Silver is desperately missing the services of the chef in 2021's playoffs. Curry's undoubtedly the most popular player in basketball, and one of the main reasons for that is how he drops daggers on teams in the postseason at twice the rate than he does during the regular season. We'd be sitting here for days talking about how he carried the Warriors to the finals in 5 straight years from 2015 to 2019, earning 3 rings in the process, but the 2017 run really speaks to Curry's playoff dominance. The man averaged 28, 6, and 7 to go along with 2 steals on shooting splits of nearly 50, 40, 90. The chef has a flair for the dramatic, and he's one of the best performers in general, as we saw throughout the 2021 season. But when the lights get brighter, all Steph does is win. He deserved to be in this year's playoffs, but without Klay Thompson, Curry had almost no support, but he still got them into the play-in tournament, where they'd fall to the Lakers and Grizzlies in back-to-back games. I'm looking forward to seeing the Splash Bros intact next year and seeing how that affects Steph's play. Number 1, LeBron James. 8 straight finals appearances and 4 championships and finals MVPs really says it all when it comes to the legacy of LeBron James. Talk about what he does off the court all you want, and I've been one to criticize him about that, but strictly talking between the lines, he has one of the greatest legacies in league history. When I made a video proclaiming Kawhi was better than LeBron, which is now privated for numerous reasons, I was only saying that in terms of right now. In terms of their legacies, LeBron is far ahead of Kawhi, and even though I don't think he's close to Jordan, there's many people already calling LeBron the GOAT. And the reason he's in the discussion for the greatest player of all time for a lot of fans is because from 2011 up until 2018, he got through the East every year. Toying with opponents both mentally and physically, he renamed Toronto to LeBronto and took down conference powerhouses like it was nothing. Maybe in 2021 he walked off the court after being outplayed by Devin Booker, and while those games at Disneyland in the bubble were glorified scrimmages, LeBron deserves credit for winning his 4th ring. What I failed to mention in that Kawhi-LeBron video was how the Lakers and Heat had the shortest offseason break of any 2 teams in league history, which is likely a big factor in why they were worn down and eliminated in round 1. The mental fortitude that it takes to go through yet another title run, and LeBron's been through a lot of them, after less than 2 months of an offseason, that was too impossible. I expect both the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers to be back in the picture in the 2022 season, so don't let LeBron's recent blemish put a stain on his legacy too much. I know I did at first, but after that reactionary analysis, I've come to realize LBJ deserves to be recognized as the best playoff performer in basketball. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at DFlowHoops, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like to help this video in YouTube's algorithm. You're the best for sticking around. This was DFlow, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next video.